Paul Denino, better known by his online alias Ice Poseidon, is a 24-year-old live streamer who, from humble beginnings as a somewhat introverted RuneScape streamer, has since then helped pioneer many aspects of IRL streaming and is regarded by some as the king of IRL due to the strong and unique connection he has formed with his viewers. But all this has come at a price. The price of selling his privacy for the content he produces. This, with the lack of moderation of his streams, makes him a target from viewers with malicious intent that have been rejected from other communities. Although these viewers make up only a small portion of his community, they are arguably the most impactful on his life. Through small aggressions, such as getting him kicked out of stores, to organizing a fake bomb threat that made national headlines and will later see him banned from his initial streaming platform. This and a few other things will only serve to distance him from his viewers and bring up several accusations of him lying or simply trying to deceive his community. Whether it's hiring actors to pose as police officers, to over a 5-month period continually lying about a breakup with his girlfriend. This, in no doubt, would take a serious emotional toll on him and turn a large portion of his fan base against him, which will lead to a decline in viewership, which is where he is now. And as for finding out how this transition happened, what a better place to start than from the beginning. Raised in a gated community in Stuart, Florida, Paul's upbringing, as described by him, was not a pleasant one. In an interview with his mother Enza Denino, she reveals that at a young age, that Paul was very shy and desperate to make friends, which he would later make, but in unexpected places, as when he was 12, a neighbor introduced him to the MMORPG, RuneScape, where he would consult a random name generator that would give him the name Ice Poseidon. It was around this time that he would find an interest in making RuneScape music videos, where he would overlay a popular song over footage of RuneScape. Through this, he would find another video maker and make his first true friend, Grayshal, also known as Voltizad. But the commonality wouldn't be limited to video making, as they both played large roles in the RuneScape glitching community, and due to his notoriety, he would also befriend the popular content creator Silent Core that may have influenced Ice to make more videos. Ice would also make a couple $100s by selling in-game items for gold and trading that gold for real-life currency, which along with bug abuse was against the game's rules, but he would never be caught. Back to the real life, Ice would play RuneScape sometimes 18 hours a day, and on occasion, he would get up before school, play, then immediately after he got back, he would hop back on and repeat the cycle. This would play further into his lack of social experience and may have caused many outbursts at his school where he would do such things to gain the attention of his peers and maybe make a friend. But due to his introverted nature, this would usually not work in his favor. It was also around this time that he would be diagnosed with Asperger's, which is a form of autism, and would take drugs meant to sedate him. This, as he recalls, would only make his life more miserable. As he continued to get into trouble and hop from school to school, he would also spend time in a camp for troubled teens. Fast forward to the age of 15, Ice was in high school and would enjoy doing prank calls with one of his RuneScape friends using Skype, and one of the calls targeted his high school. Where the previous calls were fairly in good nature, this one would have a consequential impact on his life, as during the prank call, his friend told the school secretary that there was a bomb in the school where in a panic, Ice would hang up the call and demean his friend for saying something that they both knew could get them in serious trouble, but both trusting the anonymity of the call had little to fear. Until 6 AM the following day, when his house was raided by police and his computer would be taken for evidence, where it was determined that he was not the one that made the bomb threat and was left off relatively easy. But this combined with his outburst at school, where at one point he publicly and loudly asked a member of staff if they were good at performing sexual acts of an oral nature. It was at this point where the school gave him an ultimatum: either get kicked out of school or join a theater summer camp hosted by the school to build character, which he then enrolled in. Although Ice would not make any long-lasting friends through this camp, he did find something he enjoyed, which was the stage. The attention he craved as a child was finally something that he was getting. He also quit taking his medication cold turkey and would start a job at Dunkin' Donuts, which he would leave after a short amount of time. Fast forward to his high school graduation, he began studying for a bachelor's in finance and would attain a job as a cook at a seafood restaurant known as Chowderheads. But 2 years later, at the age of 20, his interest in school would slowly dissipate and he would stop attending school after he got his associate's degree. He would also be fired from his managerial position at Chowderheads after leaving an oven on overnight, but he would be quick to find work as a line cook in an Italian restaurant and take an internship at an investment banking company which was related to his degree field, all while continuing to play RuneScape and, to be more specific, smoking marijuana and closing doors on players at RuneScape house parties in order to impede their progress and generally troll them for his personal pleasure. He will later decide to record this, and on January 9, 2015, Closing Doors was uploaded to Ice Poseidon's YouTube channel where he will commentate over himself doing just that.
Today what I'm gonna do is close the door on the guy who owns this house as part of my closing the door in old school RuneScape series. So right now I'm gonna add this guy, Travis Skills, I don't know. So there's a green dot on the map, and I know when he's running to me to try and kick me, I can run off, you know, when I see that green dot running towards me. So right now I'm just closing the door. People trying to get in. Oh, no, you. And you.
These videos would be uploaded to RuneScape's subreddit where they would get a fair amount of views and a moderate amount of upvotes. He would continue to upload various prank videos, but the one that stood out from the rest was Closing Doors 4. This video would make it to the front page of the subreddit, and although a bit reluctant about the idea at first, with the encouragement of his fans, Ice announced that he will begin to stream RuneScape on Twitch, a popular streaming platform with a focus on gaming.
This Friday, May 15th, at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 11 p.m. GMT, I will be streaming.
Ice's approach to this was more intuitive than most, as he knew to make it on such a competitive platform, he would have to stand out from the competition, so he would need a gimmick. Something the viewers could remember him by and leave a lasting impact. His gimmick would be where he would wear a suit and tie and only show his torso while streaming, leaving him somewhat anonymous. But he would later reveal the lower part of his face and eventually gave up on the gimmick and would reveal his face to the stream and adapt a shirt and tie, which he had a large variety of, likely due to his internship. A little after this first month of streaming, he would earn his first $100, which would prompt him to quit his job as a line cook and also quit his internship as he saw potential in streaming. This would help grow the stream as he could spend more time online, but this would also have an unintended consequence as it furthered his isolation. After the third month of streaming, Ice had accumulated over $4,000 in donations. A big part of his growth was due in part to his clickbait titles that would advertise him playing the Dead Man Mode beta in RuneScape when he was actually just in a normal PvP world. Although at the time he was not the only channel doing this, he was the one that retained viewers for the longest period of time. This would lead him to gain, at peak times, around 900 viewers, and when the long-anticipated Dead Man Mode was released, almost overnight, his concurrent viewer base would jump from 900 to 4,000. He also adapted more gimmicks to build his character. Most notably is the tongue thing, where he would pucker his lips, leaving enough room to move his tongue from left to right in a rapid motion, and the arm thing, where he would flail his arm wildly. Most importantly, he would find a name for his community, being the Purple Army. The name comes from the purple dots on a player's minimap that are usually white, but if those players were in your clan chat, they would appear as purple. Though through his streaming career, these gimmicks for the most part would fade away, except for one that stood out from the rest. A simple two-letter phrase, CX, which when turned 90 degrees counterclockwise makes a face. Fans would spam CX in other streamers' chats to notify each other when Ice was live, or practically any reference relating to Ice Poseidon, which although might have annoyed other streamers, it gave Ice free publicity. This, with a relatively unmoderated chat, meant that Ice's streams was where you, as the viewer, could truly run rampant. In the politically exhausting environment that at the time was affecting a lot of people, Ice's chat gave much freedom, and would support the stream's unpredictable nature. This and the addition of song requests was something truly unique to not only Ice's stream, but to his community, where viewers would pay money to donate songs that Ice would then play on stream. Many of these songs would be altered to troll Ice, as users would include clips of racial slurs, racial stereotypes, or just a harmless reference to the stream.
Alright, who... Ice fan. You are now banned. See you later. You are... I'm sorry, you're banned, dude. You think that's funny? You're f***ing banned now, homie, so go f***ing suck a dick.
In early 2016, as the Deadman hype was dying down, Ice would alternate doing different events on RuneScape. One of these activities was staking, which in essence is a gambling minigame that has the same odds of winning as a coin toss. Ice would take donations from viewers to fuel this activity, and one day he was given the equivalent of $10,000 worth of RuneScape currency, which he would go on to lose. But through some kind of miracle, Ice was able to slowly earn it back, and I should mention, the intensity of this stream was unparalleled by any other and would catch the attention of many viewers outside of RuneScape. This stream would take him to the front page of Twitch and firmly establish him among the Twitch community. After this, he would begin to gravitate more towards variety streams where he would experiment playing different types of games, and the most popular by far out of any variety game that he played during this time period was V-Time, a virtual reality game where you can interact and speak to other virtual reality users, where normally Ice's interactions were limited to his chat and the occasional call from a streamer or viewer. His social interactions with strangers and his flamboyant personality were the focus of these streams, and the fact that these streams were successful is a testament to Ice's adaptability and started to show him that the people watching him weren't so much interested in RuneScape or the other games he played, but instead him as a person, as he was a strange, wild, energetic blank slate that most introverts could easily project themselves onto. As this became more apparent to Ice, he would try to find ways to stream without needing to play a game, and with the release of the social eating category on June of 2016 gave him the perfect excuse to do so. With his experience as a line cook, Ice would stream himself preparing meals in his home and eating them in front of his viewers, and not even a month later, the popular mobile game Pokemon Go would be released, which was essentially the birth of real-life streaming. So one day after Pokemon Go was released, Ice took to the streets with his laptop, a headset, and various other devices that would allow him to stream in public, all while scarcely playing Pokemon Go. The highlights of these streams were the live interactions he would have with strangers, all while retaining his unhinged personality. And whether it was Ice's enthusiasm, his cumbersome setup, or the fact that the people he was interacting with were on camera would usually mean that they would play into Ice's wacky skits. And while all seemed to be going great and Ice's viewership and wealth grew exponentially higher, behind the scenes in an uncharacteristically serious stream, Ice would reveal he has a deep sadness crushing him, and the lack of meaningful communication with anyone, including his parents that he lives with but rarely talked to, meant that although he was doing well stream-wise, the pressure to make good content and the harassment he received when he felt that he failed would take an emotional toll on him.
You know, there are just some things I just have to get off my chest. Like, I just, you know, I don't talk to anybody. Like, I don't even talk to my parents. Like, I don't, like, I live with my parents, but we maybe talk like 2 words, maybe like 2 words a day, like maybe a sentence a day. Like, we don't talk at all. To argue and stuff. That's not talking, though. That's not the kind of talking you want to do. You know, and I don't really have anybody else. So you guys are like, if there's anybody in here watching, you're like the one who I'm, you know what I mean, talking to and letting this off my chest with. With you guys being the only people that I actually talk to, when half of those people do nothing but to try to piss you off, you know, over the course of a few months, it just starts to sink in. And I was reading in the chat, this guy, he was like, oh, he's got your money, you sub to him, it's just for the money. I mean, honestly, dude, it's really not for the money. Money doesn't make me happy. I mean, you know what I mean, dude? You would think it would. You would think money makes you happy, but it really doesn't. I mean, oh, you know, there's a number in my bank account. I don't have to worry about, you know, fucking shit anymore. But there's other things. I can't even do this. I just try. I don't know, man. I just try to do the best that I can. And I do, man. The streams are good, I think, for most of the time. But when I have one bad stream, like, I feel like a fucking bitch right now, man. But I have other, man, I don't know. Just other issues as well. When you just don't talk to anybody for so long, it just gets to you. And I know I should, like, not fucking sleep for so long and I could go out and do shit. I just don't know how to fucking go out and meet people, man, without having, like, I don't, like, usually you meet people at, like, a job or, like, school or something. But I don't know how to, there's no way for me to do that. There's no job, no school. I just don't know what I'm sad about. Every day I just have this underlining sadness. I just don't understand why.
And I've kept everything in for the past 21 years. And it's just fucking hard, man. Especially, like, when you talk to people, it's easy to keep yourself, it's easy to fucking keep everything in when you actually talk to people. But not having gone out and talking to people for like 8 months now, it's hard, dude. It's fucking hard.
This made things a lot more real in a sense. Ice wasn't entirely a character and was more genuine than he would lead on. This would have many fans flock to Ice in support, as his relatability with his struggles was widespread with many of his viewers. Though this would do little to sate those targeting him, as less than 3 months later, Ice lost a bet on stream, meaning that he would have to jump in his swimming pool. So he Skyped his phone through his computer to stream himself outside, and since he was away from his computer, he wouldn't be able to moderate nor hear donations. So viewers took advantage of this and played racist donations in order to try to get Ice banned. This would hit Ice's Twitch channel with a week-long ban, more than twice the length of his previous ban that was applied for the same reason. And a month later, on the exact same day IRL streaming was released on Twitch, Ice would ask for a girl's number and he would receive it. But he forgot to mute his stream, so he had just leaked a girl's number to everyone watching.
Yeah, so I mean, I f***ed up and I leaked the number. And my next ban would be a month. Which is really annoying.
He would then turn the stream off to do a follow-up with this girl, where it was revealed she received just 3 calls from viewers. And although she felt it was unnecessary, Ice would go on to pay her $500 as a form of compensation. Though this did little to dissuade Twitch, as his new 45-day ban would still take effect for leaking a stranger's personal information. The lack of streaming would give Ice time to decide in what direction he wanted to take his life, and would later announce instead of saving money to purchase a house, he would move to Los Angeles to produce more interesting content and move in with his childhood friend, Voldesad. This saw drastic changes in Ice's social life, where in Florida he would have the rare stream sniper and maybe partake in a Skype call with a viewer. But in California, within the first month of streaming, he would have established a manager, met several fans, some of which would become his close friends, and would get into contact with many other content creators. The most notable at the time being the former TV personality Andy Milonakis, which he would stream with frequently. With this attention, he would also attract stalkers. A great example of this would be Andy, later given the name Mexican Andy by Ice's fanbase as not to get him confused with Andy Milonakis. This trend of naming unmemorable characters on stream by what stands out most about them followed by Andy would be something unique to Ice's stream and will later catch on and influence other streams. It was also around this time when Ice would begin to date a Twitch streamer being Haley Atisto, and had many eventful interactions such as jokingly getting married and later attending DreamHack, a festival that emphasizes technology. But this would never happen, as on April 27, 2017, while waiting for his flight at the airport, he will leak his flight number.
Am I feeling better today, or I'm feeling way worse, but I'm still streaming. Yo, great, thanks for the sub, dude, appreciate it. I don't know, dude. I might be on Terminal 5. I don't know where I am. I'm just on 53A. That's my gate. And I'm not sure telling you guys that is a good idea, but what can you possibly do, right?
Although he has done this in the past and nothing has come of it, but this time, a viewer would call the airport and tell authorities that Ice had a bomb in his backpack. This would lead to police removing Ice from the flight and evacuating the plane in search of a bomb. This made national headlines and put Twitch, Ice's streaming platform, in a tough position, where they decided in order to avoid bad PR, they would have to cut ties with him and ban him permanently from Twitch. So now all Twitch streamers that he had befriended could no longer have him or his likeness appear on stream. This would be an understandably difficult time for Ice, but either through resilience or his spiteful nature, he quickly denounced Twitch and switched to YouTube as a streaming platform.
I mean, we are the Purple Army, so there's no way we're just gonna stop and disperse and become irrelevant in the world of in the world. We are going to continue to grow and continue to maintain ourselves, and we are going to continue to expand our horizons. And after all this, we'll see where we are in 6 months. We'll see what's going on with YouTube in 6 months. And there is an appeal process. And I could appeal to Twitch, and I could potentially get unbanned, depending on what's going on in 6 months. Oh yeah, the interesting news that I was talking about, that I did post on Twitter about, YouTube actually did invite me to a VIP section of VidCon, and we are going to talk about how to create YouTube Live and make it the direct competition to Twitch, so that in a few months, we are the people who revolutionized the civil war that is against Twitch, and we are bringing it down and creating YouTube Live.
And to his surprise, he found that most of his community had migrated platforms to watch him. It should be noted that there was also a transition in the content he was producing, where he was once primarily focused on streaming games and occasionally streamed IRL. Now the roles were reversed, where the meat of his content was the IRL streams he did. Though through this process he lost viewers, but also gained many that preferred his newer streams. It was also around this time that Ice would start making an average of $20,000 a month. He would also allow his subreddit to make major decisions in his life, one of which being who he would date.
I want you guys to control my life. I mean, I do. I know that sounds really f***ing weird, but the thing, this is what I have in like an idea for the live stream. I want you guys to control every aspect of my life, and I know that seems really f***ing weird. I'm not saying like, no, don't do stupid f***ing bullshit. I'm gonna keep like my location more secret and shit, but like that Reddit is pretty much going to be like my mother. That's what I'm saying. When you suggest things on that Reddit, you are suggesting how I'm going to change and manipulate my own life. Haley? Dude, I like Haley, man. Like, I don't know, man. I like her, dude. I've never felt this way before towards a woman.
And as the Reddit picked Geisha, a model and former Miss World Dominican Republic, a reluctant Ice would tell Haley about the situation, where in a later stream, she would comment this.
I helped him when he was suicidal. I talked to him every night. I let him cry. And he threw me underneath the bus because he wanted to reconcile with Geisha. But he basically was like, he didn't even like Geisha. He told me that he hated her and he wanted nothing to do with her. That he wanted to be close with me off stream, but pretend to be close with Geisha on stream. And, you know, like that caused like some beef between us. And then because I wasn't accepting of it, he took me up to the rooftop that night that Geisha came over for that date. And he asked me to be his girlfriend. And I told him that I just wanted to be bros. And I think when you're a content creator and you're thrown up in front of people, you have a lot of people that look up to you. And, you know, I've said some things that I regret, you know what I mean? But pressure happened and I can't take it back. I can only learn from my mistakes.
Which, in another stream, Ice would admit his flaws and comment further on the situation.
I lied to Geisha. Haley was sleeping over at my apartment, and I f***ed up. I'm sorry. I'm a fucking idiot. I always want to try and please whoever's in front of me, so go along with everything. In the process, I've lost a very important asset from my life, and that was Haley. I just completely alienated her from life completely. She was there for me when I went through a really hard time. She was there for me when everyone else was gone, and I was really sad and depressed. Am I a pathological liar? Yeah, I am. Should I keep girls in my life to stream? I don't know. Makes me happy, but then I just get caught up in just other things. When I moved on to YouTube from Twitch, I told you all that I sacrificed my real life for this real life streaming life, which means that everybody
is in on my life, and there's no blurred line between the stream and myself. And it's hard sometimes to intertwine those things, because usually when people deal with things like this, it's just between you and the girls. But now it's between me, the girls, and everybody. Puts me in my place, though. It really puts me in my place and helps me stay on track and understand that, you know, what's wrong and what's right. So for that, I appreciate you.
What is shown throughout this ordeal is his attempt to separate his stream life from his personal life, as even though it may provide him content, he regrets allowing his viewers to take so much control over his life and would follow further suggestions cautiously. He would also have an eventual falling out with Geisha, but his streams would flourish, as throughout the course of the next 4 months, he would go on to attend several conventions and collaborate with other well-known creators. He would also tour Europe and stream his adventures there. Ice was finally achieving the vision he had for his streams, but in his personal life, he was still missing a companion, which on August of 2017 is when Caroline Burt would come along, and with her, she would bring a considerable amount of drama, as during the double date she had with Ice, she was still seeing her boyfriend, and after the double date ended, she would go back to her boyfriend's house and stay the night. But due to the date with Ice, this would cause conflict within their relationship, which would cause them to break up, and she would then drift closer to Ice. But the thing is, she kept all this a secret, which is where the drama comes in.
Hi, I'm here, Jordan.
You're so good.
After the date, after Paul and Caroline went on the date, she came home and crawled in bed with me because it was not real, and I broke up with her after that because I told her not to do it. You want me to? I'll turn it off if you're not streaming for real.
It's up to you, man. You kind of made her look bad, so you should leave it on. Do you have some kind of proof to back this claim up?
That I was living with her at the time?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're gonna throw that out there. You can't throw that out there without proof.
Yes. Can we stop? Dude, I don't care. That's why I didn't make a video exposing you like 3 weeks ago.
Video exposing me, dude? Come on. Like, why don't you f***ing look at shit? Like, we haven't talked like in 3 months.
Although she brought this type of drama with her, she could still do much for Ice, as she could potentially suppress the stress from constant swatting, harassment, evictions, and general and personal lifestyle he was living, as Ice has a somewhat open door policy at his house, meaning that practically at any time, you can visit his house and chat with him, and he might even add you to the streaming network he's developing as long as he could use you to create content. So at any given point, there would be strangers in his house, some even spending the night sleeping on his couches or just the floor. But again, this would be a massive sacrifice in privacy for a boost in his streaming career and would enclose what little he had left of his personal life even further. This and the disapproval that his fans had for Caroline would grow further when she became his girlfriend, which would distance him further from his community. But Ice was a happier person around this time. That can also be attributed to his visit with his parents on November of 2017 for Thanksgiving. He would cite this as an extremely happy experience.
Dude, seeing my parents in so long is really nice, dude. It's like, you don't understand how much you miss your parents until you hang out with them after you've been away for a while, you know what I mean? Like, it's fucking emotional, dude. It's like fucking wholesome, like, you know, it's nice. Sorry, I'm not trying to get like, all like teary-eyed and shit. Just, I don't know, man. I just feeling like, just like really like emotional earlier talking about this shit. Cause it's just like, I don't know, you get like, I'm like happy, dude, is what it is. It's like hard to talk when you're happy, cause you know, you just don't feel happy. You know, I haven't been happy for a long time, so
you know, I come and I hear these things, these like stories, and you know, it makes me happy, dude. Yeah, it's just been a while since I felt happy, so it's like, you know, I hear these like stories of you know, from these people that I grew up with. They're like proud. That's all I wanted, dude. So it's like all I ever wanted in life, just people to be proud.
But the relations he had with his community would continue to struggle, where before, their displeasure was usually targeted at Ice's inability to sustain a consistent streaming schedule and the occasional lies he would tell. Now, still within the time frame of November 2017, there were accusations and somewhat strong evidence that Ice hired actors to pose as police officers to fake a police report that Caroline's car had been stolen, with the goal being to cancel his next couple of streams to spend time with Caroline. Again, these are only accusations, but regardless, the community was not sated, and for most fans, the problem wasn't that he wanted to spend time with Caroline, it was how he tried to appease both sides with lies, as they would begin to feel strong deception from someone that they felt they could previously trust. Whether it was a contention between the two on how to manage a public relationship and streaming at the same time, or simply that he wanted to please his community, on January 4th of 2018, Ice would announce that he had broken up with Caroline. This would please a large portion of his community.
Congratulations on breaking the brainwashing. We almost lost you. Okay, dude, thanks, bro. Advanced Kid, thank you for the sponsor, dog. And yeah, okay, check this out. I guess I'll just say this. I'll just bring it up, dude, because some people are just fucking stupid. So, all right, check this out. Why in the would I fake breakup? That doesn't make any goddamn sense. I mean, think about it like this. If I get caught fake breaking up, do you not think that would be very detrimental to my career? I mean, it would. And do you think I would really take that fucking risk?
But others would speculate if the breakup was another lie, which they were right to do so, as we will later find out, the breakup was indeed real, but it only lasted 3 days, as in secret, Ice reached out to her and began dating her again, but this time in an open relationship. While to his fans, he would continue to support the narrative that he was single and was avoiding contact with her. But that lie could only last so long, as almost exactly 5 months after the breakup, on day 11 on an RV trip that Ice had taken with his Andes and a few independent content creators, while at a resort in Horseshoe Bay, Texas, Caroline was accidentally shown on stream, which is where more drama ensued. Here it was revealed that Ice had had sexual relations with Caroline's friend, and though it was obvious to the viewers that the breakup was all a ruse, Ice persisted to belittle Caroline on stream in order to continue the act. This did not play to his favor.
What are you doing?
I just talked to security.
Hey, this place, so you have to come down.
Is one of them here?
Nope, none of them are
I
here.
just talked to security. They said the only person that's allowed to stay are the people that are on the names for the rooms. I just talked to them.
So just me. It's only my name on the room.
Yeah.
How does that make sense? No, let me talk to the management.
Okay.
You're the one who caused all this. Don't sit here and cry. You're the one who caused
I'm not crying.
You caused.
No, I came here because I saw what was
You
going
were
on and
complaining
wanted
to security because you're jealous of Kaylee.
Oh my god. I just went and talked to security and I said, is there a way that we can get them to stay? They're performers, they're YouTubers. Like, it's a whole misunderstanding. And they said,
You're the one who caused this.
How did I cause it?
You're the one who's bitching to security because you're like arguing with Kaylee about
Security came up to me and said that you came up with the cameras screaming about how you're different girls.
Came in the first place because you ran up to me and punched me in the face.
Came up to me and said that he was saying I'm all these different girls, blah blah blah, and that they hire a high-end resort, and that was disrespectful of you, and they wanted to keep all
of me. I disagree. I'm like, yeah, sure. Yeah, who gives what does the resort care?
They said that it was disrespectful and that you have high-end clientele here, and that was very unprofessional. So
okay, so it's professional to go out and.
I just tried to help you.
It's professional to go out and slap Kaylee when you're f***ing jealous.
Being out with you, dude. When we're f***ing.
Yeah, no, because I'm f***ing hot. What you mean?
If y'all are fighting and all that stuff, then that's going to create a whole other mess.
Don't worry.
Okay, so if you're worried about that happening,
all I wanted was just for that security
Caroline,
guard.
please just go. Please just go.
That's all I wanted, because he thinks I'm lying, and
It
I
doesn't even
just really
matter.
care
I just
about
want you to
him.
leave. I just want you to leave. Look at what's going on. I just want you to leave.
Yeah. Then we'll go to Austin.
The only way to make her leave is to make her uncomfortable. Just come here. Just get in her face.
I called him and I
Just
said,
and she won't leave us alone, dude.
I'm not, I have been gone. I literally sit in my room.
You just won't
Yesterday,
go
I
away,
was in the
dude.
room all day yesterday alone. I was in the room all day yesterday today. I'm always alone. What do you mean I don't leave you alone? I'm always alone.
Nobody believes you. I don't know what to do. The police said they can't take her out of the room. I don't know what to do.
Oh. You're just making me look crazy for the stream and it freaks me
Make you
out.
look crazy. You're actually a little bit crazy. See you later, Caroline. Goodbye.
Oh, no, please.
It was also revealed that he had heavily damaged a rental car that was paid for by Caroline's mother, which he refused to pay the damages for.
My mom says, yes, it was picked up, but Paul hasn't paid for it yet because the damage, what did they say the damage was? $3,000 of damage was done to it. From the wheels and I guess everything he was doing.
This, for many, was the lowest point in Ice's streaming career. He would then fly back to Los Angeles, where by request of his subreddit, he would shave his head. But this would do little to calm the unrest in his community as more information about the relationship had begun to leak, which left many viewers wondering if he can continue this life for a 5-month period, what else could he be lying about? And a stream he would do a few days later would give us more insight into why he lied.
It just made it more complicated, you know, because she came on stream and she really broke my trust with that shit. So I just was like, if you ever did this, I would just have to break up with you and get rid of you. And that's kind of what I had to do. But I mean, it was like a complicated situation because I really wish, you know what I mean, I could have met her when I wasn't a streamer, because it's like, you know what I mean, there's not that many people that care about me. So it's like, you know, when I have to get rid of people that care about me, it just kind of sucks. Like, you know, there's obviously a reason why I lied. It's not easy. You can't just say to a community that hated somebody with a passion that you love somebody. Okay? It's not that easy. Because then people will just obviously give you shit. And, you know what I mean? It's like, it doesn't matter who you love. It doesn't matter who I love. You know what I mean? So, you know, there's obviously a reason why. I just wanted to keep something in my personal life.
5 months later, on a trip to Iceland, Ice tried to rejoice with Caroline once more, but with no success, as she had already found someone else, and later on so would Ice, as a month later he revealed his new girlfriend. But even still, the viewers' displeasure with Paul was still very noticeable. This was most evident on its subreddit, where once it was full of memes and stream suggestions, either due to neglect or genuine hatred, had gotten so bad it had to be quarantined by Reddit staff, as it had devolved into a community set on critiquing Ice and his companions, and on February 21st, 2019 would eventually be shut down by Ice. His YouTube videos would also be flooded with dislikes, as many would cite the transition in style of content that he was producing, where to some, it felt like he was trying to appeal to a more mainstream audience and had lost what had made him loved by so many. Where it stands, Ice Poseidon is losing subscribers daily, his community is regarded as one of the most toxic on the internet, and he is constantly surrounded by people that he doesn't know if they genuinely like him or if they want to use his fame for their own personal advantage. Many disgruntled fans would say his loss in popularity was due to his transition from a hyperactive introvert who cared very little about societal norms and was the forefront for counterculture, has since become a somewhat unrelatable extroverted kingpin who has for the most part assimilated into generic streaming culture that somewhat cannot find a balance between his personal life and his streaming career. Though Ice has overcome many challenges, recovering the trust of his community might be the most difficult yet. This is a section of the video where I give my opinion on what I think is going on with Ice Poseidon, right? And I should disclose that I've been watching him since 2015, which is when he started streaming. So I've been through his lies. I've been, I guess, part of his community, right? And something for me personally is I can't stand liars. I feel that if you think you can lie to me and I won't catch it, you think you're better than me, and you think you can deceive me. So that's why I don't really watch him, or I guess invest in him personally. I'll watch the stream if it's good. But as a person, right, and I know this is biased because I'm a content creator, I think what he's gone through would have changed anyone. And it was especially bad on him because he does what no sane person tries to do because they know the consequences. And that's exposing themselves fully to the stream. And if you do that, if you tell if you tell random people everything, right, it's harder to maintain personal relationships because how can like your friends trust you if you just tell like strangers everything, right? Like, so what that does is it kind of makes really what he's trying to do. It makes his chat, his viewers, his community like his true friends, right? His best friends. And what that does to a person, it kind of messes them up because imagine your best friend being an extremely bipolar person that one day is like, hey man, great streams, you're doing great, like I really love where this is going. And like another day when like you're not doing so great, where you really need that boost, right? Imagine them just being like going straight up to you and being like, kill yourself, like you suck, like we shouldn't be streaming. And although it might not feel like it, like those do affect people. And Ice having no one really else to rely on, right? Because people don't really care what he feels is people don't care about his personal issues. It really messes him up, right? It really does. And I've talked to a lot of stream snipers and people that know him, like that have met him and know him like kind of personally. And off camera, it turns out like he's actually a really nice guy, which, surprised me a little bit. So knowing that he is a gentle soul and how I feel like all the swatting, the harassment, all this that he's been through, he just can't catch a break. So I do really hope that he can recover from this.